everybody, and welcome back to Boro B's Football Banter Factory. And today we're gonna do a transfer tier list of players who have made their move across to the Premier League from overseas, from the Premier League, from wherever. And we're gonna do a list from good to bad. I'm gonna get to how we're gonna do the list, but before that, please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe now. Please subscribe to my channel. Leave a like and leave a comment in the comment section below. And let's get to it, guys. Let's get to the video. Let's get to the transfer tier list. So this is how we're going to do this. So we're going to start from the bottom and we're going to get to the top. So the bottom is the Ballon d'Or list and the top is the Ballon d'Or list. So the Ballon d'Or, and in between, let's start from the bottom. So Ballon d'Or, then tough beginnings, then acceptable beginnings, then good beginnings, and then Ballon d'Or. So the two good ones, I guess, three good ones. Acceptable beginnings also good. Ballon d'Or, good beginnings, acceptable beginnings, and the two bottom ones, tough beginnings and Ballon d'Or. Let's start with right at the bottom. Let's start right at the bottom. The Ballon d'Or, the players who have not had the impact that we thought they would, or haven't had an impact whatsoever, or have had an impact for the wrong reasons. That man, I'm gonna start with that man that moved houses. Actually, he didn't move houses, did he? He didn't move anything. He has not moved a single thing. That man, Willian Borges. Willian moved from Chelsea to Arsenal to manage his restaurant with David Luiz. That's why he went to Arsenal, and his performances tell you that. He didn't go. This was not a football move. This is a personal financial decision that he made. And why wouldn't you make it if you were Willian? You were a Chelsea pensioner. You've made your name at Chelsea. You've won the title twice. You've won the Europa League. You're not going to win the Champions League. So why did you go to Arsenal? To earn that mullah. That's why he went there. And he went there to manage his restaurant, make sure that Willie name is still loud and proud in the streets of London. Along with that man, David Luiz. Willian has to, and Arsenal, in order to improve, he has to first learn how to beat the first man from a corner kick. He has to learn how to take a set play that doesn't end up in the stands. And this time around, my ladies and gentlemen, Willian makes the list. Well, I don't know what I was going to say there. But this time around, Willian makes the list. And with Willian, the next person in the list is that man, Nathaniel Ake from Manchester City. He was brought in to be apparently the substitute for not getting Koulibaly. In the end, he's a substitute for another player that they bought, and that's Ruben Diaz, because Nathaniel Ake has not had the desired impact. Another former Chelsea man. I mean, Ake is a decent player, a very good Premier League level player, but he's not had the impact, has he? The last and I don't know what he is. Is he a left back, right, or a center back? What's his role at Man City? We don't know yet, and we'll see. Right now, Nathaniel Ake, for me, has not had the impact. Time will tell about him in the future. The last man is Vinicius, brought in from Benfica. And maybe he should have stayed there because he's not getting any game time. He's been brought in to be Harry Kane's backup, and that is exactly what he is. Because Harry Kane is on fire, and the only thing this man can do is watch over from the bench. This man is sat right on that bench doing nothing so far. So he's made the Ballon d'Or list. Tough beginnings, ladies and gentlemen. We go one above Ballon d'Or. We go to tough beginnings. And this basically is littered. Spoiler alert, littered with Man United players. Because it's not their fault, but they've had, for the situation and circumstances that they're in, they've had a tough start. Alex Telles, Van der Beek, and Cavani are all in this list. They're all good players. We all know that they're good players. We've seen them play for their respective clubs and for the national team and see how good they are. Like, look at Van der Beek. He just scored yesterday against Spain. I think it was Spain, or it was a big team. And it shows to me, like, he's a good player. We know he's a good player, but he hasn't had the impact, mostly because he's been sat on the bench, not doing anything. So he's had a tough start to life in the Premier League. Van der Beek makes, same with Alex Telles. He's been injured, he's been suspended, and he's had a tough life. Cavani, same thing. He had to go to quarantine. He had to be locked in for 2 weeks. Seems like a panic buy because he hasn't started a game yet, has he? And I know he's got that Everton goal. Hopefully that will get him to kick on. But for now, he's in that tough beginnings list. The next two, I'm gonna talk about Tottenham. Gareth Bale Now, look, I put Gareth Bale on this list because we expected a lot from him, didn't we? He's Gareth Bale. He's Gareth Spectacular. He's the man who's supposed to win Tottenham the Premier League, isn't he? Or maybe I was over-expecting, but either way, Gareth Bale is in this list because he's had a tough beginning. He's still a good player, but so far he has not hit the heights that we expected him to be. And the last man, this is a bit controversial, and maybe Liverpool fans will get on me, but please do get on me. But please make sure you do subscribe to this channel, like the video, and please leave a comment in the comment section below. I am happy to debate all day long. The last person on this tough beginnings list is Thiago Alcantara, because Thiago Alcantara is one of the world's best playmakers, and he's not had that impact. It's not been all his fault. Liverpool have been littered with injuries, and unfortunately we know he's an injury-prone player, and he suffered from the same fate. He started his Liverpool career well when he came on against Chelsea. Maybe that was a bit premature because maybe he wasn't match fit. Either way, he had that good 45 minutes against a 10-man team, and he played well in that game. He was okay, you know. He didn't make any mistakes. He did give away a penalty kick, which Jorginho failed to convert. But he has had a tough start, let's be honest. But we know he's fantastic. Now, guys, I'm not saying this is the ultimate definition of the player. It's just the beginning of the season. I'm saying so far. So far, for me, Thiago Alcantara has had a tough beginning. Moving up in the list, acceptable beginning. So this is not bad, not good. It's what we can accept it. They can either improve or falter. But it's been acceptable from these players. I'm going to start with that Chelsea boy, that Cobra man, that Cobra Kai Havertz, fantastic player. But he's statistically had a good start. He's had 3 assists, 4 goals, but he hasn't set the world alight, has he? So I'm gonna put him in that list. And hope that he gets better. I know he will. He's just had the coronavirus. He didn't have a bad start by any means. He had an acceptable start, but we know he's got levels to go in order to reach his best level. He's kind of figuring himself out, trying to get into the zone, fit in with this Chelsea team. And recently he did. He was finding a good chemistry with N'Golo Kante and Mount in that midfield. And on that right-hand side, his chemistry with Ziyech was growing. But because of coronavirus, that's been cut prematurely. But he'll be back. I see his picture with the puppy. He looks very cute. That puppy looks cute, and so does Kai. Kai is a young man. He's a good-looking young man, I guess. But Kai makes the list for sure. The next one, and now Arsenal fans, you can get on me for this, but I'm putting that man on this list. Tommy Partey. He's not been exceptional. He's not had a good start. He's had an acceptable start. Let's be fair. He's a very good player. He's probably a world-class player. But men were saying things like he's better than Kante. He's the man. He's the best center midfielder in Arsenal since Vieira. He's this. He's that. He's the man. He's the hype. He's everything that, unfortunately, they've been saying. But he hasn't been so far. He's been good. Take away all biases aside. He's had an acceptable beginning. And Thomas Partey, we know he's a talented man. He's not just a defensive midfield player. They've made him out to be some kind of Paul Pogba Makelele hybrid. But he's a good player. He's a very good player, and he will improve Arsenal's midfield. But Arsenal's problems are not just solved with this one signing, and it will take him time to settle in because he's coming from a different country, different culture. And he has not been that good at home. He has been better away from home. Maybe they'll have to figure out how to use him better at home. But he is a fantastic player, and he'll get better, for sure. He'll get better. But right now, he's just had an acceptable beginning. Tommy Partey makes the list. Acceptable beginnings. Number 3 is Ferran Torres, that man who's made the move from La Liga all the way to Manchester City. A good player, Ferran Torres. He's had a bigger impact in the Champions League than the Premier League. I don't think he's had enough of an impact in the Premier League, considering he's replacing Leroy Sané. There is more to come from him, but I don't think he's been bad enough to consider a flop or consider that he's had a tough start or anything like that. I think he's had an acceptable start. So Ferran Torres, the third man on the list. And the last man on this list is the man from Everton who's made the move from Watford, Abdoulaye Doucouré. He started very well with Alani. They look like a double pivot that could be very useful. A 3-man midfield in which both of them had particular roles. and Doucouré was complementing Andre Gomez very well with Alan in that sixth role. But things have caught up to them, and we're seeing some of the frustrations that Doucouré can bring. Some of the good things as well, but some of the bad things, which is the inconsistency. And he's had an acceptable start. There's more to come from him. I think he'll get better. But Doucouré is the last man on this list. So far, 3 lists. Let's talk about before we get into the good stuff. Ballon d'Or, Willian, Ake, and Vinicius. Willian from Man City. Willian from Arsenal. Ake from Man City. Vinicius from Tottenham. Tough beginnings. Van der Beek, Cavani, and Telles, all from Manchester United. Gareth Bale from Tottenham Hotspur, and Thiago Alcantara from Liverpool. Acceptable beginnings. Kai Havertz from Chelsea. Tommy Partey from Arsenal. Ferran Torres from Man City, and Abdoulaye Doucouré, Everton. Now, let's move on to the good stuff. The difference makers, the 2 top tier lists. Good beginnings and Ballon d'Or. We'll start with good beginnings. That man, Spider-Mendy. Spider-Mendy makes the list. Spider-Mendy has revitalized Chelsea's defense. It's actually an insult that I'm putting him in good beginnings, but I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can, and therefore I put him in this list. He has had a good start. Actually, he's had a great start, but I'm putting him in because I'm trying to be unbiased. Therefore, Spider-Mendy makes the good beginnings list. Let's be reasonable. He hasn't done anything spectacular in terms of shot stopping, but what he has done, he has stabilized the defense. He's doing all the basics beautifully, not making any unforced errors, which is bringing confidence into the rest of the team, especially the back four and N'Golo Kante in front of them. Spider-Mendy, and keeping with Chelsea, I'm going to go with that man, Hakim Ziyech. What a start he's had. Magnificent player, fantastic footballer, the left foot of a wizard. This man can fire us to the title. That's what I believe. If not this season, next season, but he will hopefully one day fire us to the title. I'm going with him good because he simply hasn't had enough games, but so far so good. Keep it up, Hakim. Keeping with the flow, Timo Werner. It's an insult again that I'm not putting him in the Ballon d'Or list, but I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can because I think he can be even better. Even though he has 8 from 11, he can be even better. That's how much I know this man can do because Timo is a prolific, powerful goal scorer, and he can take Chelsea to levels. So good beginnings for Timo Werner. Now moving on across the town to not London. I'm going to talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham not so hot chick. Tottenham Hotspurs, they're actually hot right now, and they get second in the league. They got to falter down. I'm going to talk about the one man they brought in that made all the difference. That man, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, defensive midfield player from Southampton. He's come in. He stabilized the midfield. He stopped them from leaking in as many goals as they were last season, and they're second. So what can you say? Keeping on that same line, that same flavor, it's that man Reguilon from Real Madrid. I know they've got a buyback clause, but what a fantastic buy. What a left back. Going forward, flawless, absolutely brilliant. A bit like Chilwell, defensively a bit suspect, but good beginning from him. Keeping with North London, Gabriel from Brazil, from Lille. He has been wonderful, hasn't he? He's been. Can you believe this man is only 22 years old? He looks so mature for a 22-year-old. And fantastic signing, fantastic stuff from Gabriel, and he will hope that the rest of his teammates can get their act together. Otherwise, he'll be scratching his head. Now, keeping on the North London flavor, I'm going to talk about some outgoings from Arsenal. Emi Martinez has been fantastic for Aston Villa. I'm going to put him in good simply because Aston Villa is a goalkeeper. It's harsh. Like, I'm just going to put him in good. I'm not going to put him in that Ballon d'Or list. I'm just going to put him in good. Emi Martinez has had a very good beginning, hasn't he? He's had a good beginning, and he's helped improve Aston Villa. Keeping with Aston Villa, Matt Cash, the right back. I believe he's from Nottingham Forest, a Champions League winning club that Arsenal are not. Matt Cash from Nottingham Forest joining another Champions League winning club in Aston Villa. He's been a fantastic right back. Another example of how you can get players who are fantastic from the Championship. You don't necessarily have to go overseas and overpay for players that are or even in the Premier League. You don't have to always overpay for players in the Premier League. You can go down a level and find gems there. And Matt Cash has been a fantastic signing. The last person on this list is that man Alan from Napoli to Everton. I don't really need to say much. He's really stabilize that midfield. They haven't been flawless, so that's why I'm not putting him in a Ballon d'Or list. He's had a good start, hasn't he? Now moving on to the elite, to the Ballon d'Or, to the main men, to the men that make the difference. I'm gonna start with that man from Brazil. That man that PSG did not offer a contract to, or when they did, he had already made his mind up. He made his mind up to come to London, to join the pride of London, to join the best team in the land of London, and that is Thiago Silva. I'm choking up because I'm so happy. Thiago Silva. So yeah, first man on the list, Thiago Silva. What can you say, man? This guy has absolutely revitalized our defense. We look like a Chelsea defense now. We were looking like some kind of basketball team. We were looking like the Harlem Globetrotters without a defense. We were just going forward, trying to score goals. Who cares about defending? Walla, walla, walla. But he's cut out the walla and put some life in our defense. And Thiago Silva makes the list. The second person I put is Ben Chilwell. Can you believe Ben Chilwell, the man who was Chelsea fans themselves, including myself? We wanted Reguilon because we thought he's a cheaper deal, a better deal, a deal that maybe we sell to Madrid in a few years. But for the short term, he's probably the better answer because apparently, according to us, bad experts, so-called experts, we're not experts. We're not experts. What are we? We're just. Whatever we are, we're not very good, are we? But Ben Chilwell, man, he's had such a great impact. With Thiago Silva beside him, we've kind of stopped him from exposing his flaws. He's just going there and making the difference going forward, assisting. He's already had 4 assists. I think his top number of assists in the season is 5. He's already almost there to matching it, and he's not even been 1/4 of the season. So Ben Chilwell, that now getting to the champions of England. This man has come in with all the injuries happening, with everyone left, right, and center falling down. This man has said, I'm here and I'm going to keep them where they belong, and that's the top, Diego Jota. What a signing he has been from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Magnifique. This beautiful Portuguese man has come in and made the difference, hasn't he? He's kept them at that level despite all these injuries. No other team could do so. But Diego Jota has been inspired by Jurgen Klopp to reach that extra level and keep them there. And that's another man on this list. The next man on this list is that man that just humiliated Arsenal in their own backyard. Ole, 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 ole. And that ain't Olivier Giroud. It's ole, 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 ole. Olivia Watkins. What a start he's had at Aston Villa. He is the man, isn't he, right now? He is really the man. And his numbers do the talking. There's really not much else to say. The other 2-person from Aston Villa that makes this list. Yes, there's 3 from Villa. 3 players from Villa have made this list. Douglas Luiz and Ross Barkley. They have revolutionized Villa's midfield and turned it into one of the Premiership's best midfields. From relegation fodder to potential European, not European contenders, but contending for the European spots. And that's phenomenal. That is good business. And the last man on this list, James from Madrid, Rodriguez. A joy to watch. What a player he has been so far. James Rodriguez, tier 1 Ballon d'Or list. He has come from Madrid and he has been awesome. So this was the list, guys. Again, Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or is not here, it's down here. Ballon d'Or is down here. Ballon d'Or. Tough beginnings, acceptable beginnings, good beginnings, Ballon d'Or. This was the list, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please get into the conversation and leave a comment in the comment section below. I will come back later and do some things with the news. Let's see what's happening in the world of football. Until then,